Dave.
Ian.
How you doing, buddy?
It's complicated.
Yeah, I know it is, because, I can see the background.
Yeah, my Abarth. The fucking 400 yards that it made it. And your car.
Yeah.
Touching it.
Yeah, we've really come full circle on sort of like automotive mishaps in your neighborhood specifically. Well, we're going to get into that in a second, but what are the people here for? What is this? What's happening? Where are we?
This is the Apex Adjacent podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm Ian. That sad man over there is Dave.
Yep. No.
The cars behind me are both broken in some fashion. One more than the other.
Don't jinx it.
So last time on Apex Adjacent.
Right. Previously on Apex Adjacent.
You had fixed the Abarth.
I had, yeah.
Or you were very close.
I was close.
To fixing the Abarth.
I was close. Yeah. I had. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Well, but since then, so the last update we had was that you were like putting it back together. You had found the culprit burnt exhaust valve.
Yep.
You got a new head. You got it all prettied up.
Yep.
And put everything back together. You even put an oil cooler on it to prevent this failure from happening again.
Yep.
And then what happened?
Well, here, I have some
Dave?
pictures. I have some pictures. I'll catch you up. So this is podcasting audio and visual medium. Let's do this. Yeah, let's catch the folks up. So here's the Nugget, right? Here's the delightful little Nugget while Ian silences his notifications.
Sorry.
So here's the Nugget on the ground. Look at that, right?
Yeah, all back together.
Yep, buttoned
so I
up.
see things like crossed off a list in the foreground.
Yeah, you see compression for cylinder 2, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here. So there it is on the ground. Here's the engine bay. Look at that. Right?
Yeah. All buttoned up.
Yep. So we got a chrome. That was just the cheapest engine intake. Like the chrome one, there was a black one and a red one, but those were more money, so I just went with chrome. I got the cold air intake. Let's see here. So we got a beefy front mount intercooler on. That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Those brackets did not line up like they should have. But anyway, I got the oil cooler from Forge Motorsport. Beautiful. Like the welds on this thing are gorgeous. I mean, look at that, right?
It's pretty.
I mean, it's crazy, right? They put their names on it when you get a Forge product, right? Like handmade by Dan and checked by Ryan. Thanks, Dan and Ryan. Right?
You haven't really cooled that much oil yet, but check this space. Yeah.
Yeah. Check this space. Yeah. It mounts up where one of the little intercoolers went before.
Yeah.
Turbo upgrades. Yeah. Or turbo mods, I should say. An upgrade means you get like a new turbo, but here's turbo mods, right? Yeah. So this is an upgraded diverter valve diaphragm, spring, and then an atmospheric blow off. So we get the nice whooshy noises, right?
Yeah. Turbo noises.
Yep. And then,
Now what happened when you tried to make turbo noises?
It died.
Yeah.
I was driving it out of my neighborhood, taking it to run errands, to go to AutoZone to get like a license plate frame and stuff like that, right? And it was going uphill towards a main street. I'm very thankful it didn't happen in the middle of traffic or anything like that.
Yeah, you had some busy streets around your neighborhood. That would have been bad.
Yeah, right? Like Federal. Yeah. Right? Oh boy. Thankfully it was uphill from where I live. And it just goes blip, blip, and then dead. And I tried to restart it and it made really bad like metal on metal noises. And so I think that the timing belt let go. Either there's a few things. Obviously this happened. When did this happen, Ian? Monday?
Yeah, it was
Monday. So today is Thursday. So 3 days ago, right? So I've had some time to think about it, right? And I think what happened is there's a couple possibilities. On this engine, in order to time it, I've talked to you about how weird the timing is, right? You had these tools that you bolt onto the engine. You bolt one onto the camshaft and one onto the main crank. And like, that's how you know everything's in time. There's like little notches on the things that you're putting the things on, and that's in time. Now, the cam sprocket, right? When you tension the timing belt, you're supposed to leave the bolt loose on the cam sprocket so the cam sprocket can roll with the tension as you tension the belt.
Sure.
Right? The cam itself stays in the same place. There's no keyway on that sprocket.
Really quick, we should give a quick disclaimer for longtime listeners that we're actually going to talk about engine parts. I assume.
You know what?
Not something that ever happens.
We should have gotten in front of that, buddy. We should have gotten in front of shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Good call.
Trigger warning. Mechanical bits.
Real mechanical stuff, right?
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
And as the probably token mechanic of the Apex Adjacent podcast, this stings extra, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. So that camshaft, you let that spin free when you're tensioning the timing belt, so that like all of the other side, the side opposite of where the tensioner is, can tighten up as well, right? Because if that doesn't move, then the belt doesn't really get tighter,
right?
Overall, right? And so then what you do after that, right, is that you tighten that cam bolt down, and I think it's like 90 foot-pounds or something like that. It's a lot of pressure on that cam bolt. What you're supposed to use, and I know this now, so maybe it's a costly mistake. We'll find out when we take it apart. But what you're supposed to use is you're supposed to use a tool that goes into, like, it has like a little fork that goes into holes in the cam sprocket to counteract the force of you torquing that bolt so much. So there's not so much tension on the camshaft or the sprocket, right? And I didn't do that. I didn't know that that's what you do. I was just tightening the bolt, and the timing tool was continuing to hold it into place, right? And the timing tool is fine. Like, I looked at it, it's not damaged or anything, but it's possible that I could have actually spun the crankshaft and twisted it or cracked it, right? So that's a possibility.
Or crack that bolt or something, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. So that's one. Another is that if the timing bolt tensioner let go, then obviously everything's off. And this is an interference engine. And so I, probably
in like several directions, right?
You're right. No, you're exactly right. Because the multi-air stuff. Yeah, the multi-air brick has moving parts that go horizontal, right? Yeah. So it's not going to be great, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to rebuild a head again, probably. If there's damage to the pistons, we're going to need to replace those. But,
what are your thoughts on just a new engine? I mean,
I think it comes down to cost, right? So a new engine be about, depending on the mileage, 1,200 or not mileage. Yeah. Mileage of the engine, right? Would be about $1,200 to $2,500 shipped to my door. Right. I can rebuild the head for like $160.
Right. But if you're then getting rebuilt pistons and at some point, it becomes like,
right, exactly, right, yeah, you don't know. Also, you don't know, like, is that engine full?
What condition are you going to get it?
Is the head warped? Is it full of stop leak? Is it,
right? Did I own it and put liquid head gasket in it?
Right.
On several occasions.
Right.
Would never do that.
I just watched the Chris Fix video about that today. I don't know if you watch those Chris Fix videos. Mm-hmm. I love him. I think Chris Fix has a great YouTube channel, and he actually did like a proper 2-year head gasket fix test with that head gasket fix stuff, like the stuff pour in the coolant. Yeah, it was really interesting. It was really interesting. Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert is it's not going to get your car running on the long term, but if you need to eke another year out of it because you're in a crisis, you can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what I did with the Saab. So
yeah, right. And then you did it for another year, and then another year. Right. So I gotta say a few things, right? So obviously the Abarth breaking, probably at my own hand and my own incompetence, hurts really bad, right?
Well, you say incompetence, but I mean, this is the first time you've done this too, right? Like, I mean, it's not like...
And I am a good mechanic. Like, I'm actually mechanical, right?
Yeah. And also, I mean, this is a fairly complicated engine in a way that's it's complicated in a new way to you, for sure.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Because I mean, the Saab stuff is weird, and people get intimidated by Saabs too,
which is so weird because it's not that bad, right?
Well, but I mean, it's sort of like the thing that you know.
Right.
So of course it doesn't seem that bad to you, but if you worked your whole life on V8s, on like American V8s, and then had to go work on a Saab, you'd be like, what the fuck is literally all of this? Right?
I'll say that for the classics, sure. For the classics, definitely.
Well, it's all backwards and shit.
For the NG900, honestly, like, I would rather work on that than say like a Civic any day.
Really?
Totally honest, just because I think it's simpler. The PVC routing isn't as insane. Yeah. I do think it is easier to work on. So I think like they get a bad rep, right? And I think that like when like you and I are IT guys, right? And I think one aspect of our personalities is that has kind of placed us into this field of work, right? Is that consistently over and over in our lives, we have had a system placed in front of us, right? Or we've placed ourselves in front of a system and we have learned that system and then moved on to the next system, right?
Yeah. Well, I will say, I think that being a good IT person is really good training for just troubleshooting in general.
Right.
Because we're so used to binary checks of like, is this working or not? Yes, good. Move to the next step.
Right.
You know, and that's just basic troubleshooting. You start from your known good, and you move towards
arms
the problem.
Wide, bring it on in. Right.
Right. Yeah. Move towards your problem from your known good, and it serves you well. Like, even with me being made of mostly thumbs when it comes to being a mechanic, like, I'm super clumsy, but I could grasp like what's happening, and like, oh, I understand why I'm taking this bolt to get to that one over there. You know, like, I can do that sort of stuff.
Right.
I just am not physically good at it.
Yeah. You know, I'm thankful that like the pattern recognition stuff that I have, like that, like if there's like a savant thing that I possess, it is like a pattern recognition thing, right?
Right.
I didn't write anything down as far as like where stuff went when I took the Fiat apart. Everything went back. I found where all the weird little brackets went and all that stuff. And so it truly did go back together the way it came apart, save for some upgraded pieces, right?
Right.
And, you know, so because I live a charmed fucking life, okay? Like, I'm very lucky. I am so lucky to be in the position that I am, right? I can work remote during a pandemic, right? I have an incredible wife who I love more than anything in the world. I have an insanely amazing friend that drops me everything to come help me push my fucking Nugget down the street, right? Like, I called you up and said, Ian, come do CrossFit with me, right? And you did. You were there in 30 minutes, okay?
Well, yeah, your car was broken. I had nothing going on, so it was not a big deal.
I texted Peter and I talked to him, and he helped talk me through the dark place, you know, and so I'm so lucky to have what I have in my life, and I'm so thankful for what I have. And, you know, a mechanical setback like this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to roll with it. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot mechanically about the Abarth. And I've also, I've made myself put this on a shelf until after we get back from the track day.
Yeah, and I think that's really smart. And I also, I want to encourage you to keep this in perspective of you bought this car for very cheap, knowing that this exact scenario was
something bad was inside,
possible, but likely.
Right.
You knew that there was danger ahead. Right. So, you're doing fine, and you still have other modes of transportation, and
right.
And I'm gonna cart your gangly ass around that track on Sunday, and it's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have a great time at the track, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it hurts. I'm out a little bit of money with seals and stuff that I'm gonna have to replace, and who knows if I'll actually have to buy some valves. We'll find out. And
many hours of your life.
Right.
Went clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah. Kelly and I were talking about it, and I had probably about 80 hours in it.
Oh my God.
About 4 solid weekends, Saturday and Sunday, about 10 hours each. Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything that I have spent a cumulative 80 hours doing by myself in the last 7 years, and I am struggling.
But I think you know how I get where I get a project and I deep dive, right?
Television.
Building my Hackintosh, right?
Your office setup, the whole thing. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I obsess about stuff like that, and I think that making myself put this on the shelf until next week it's necessary to maintain some balance in my life. There's home projects and stuff that today I learned how to rekey locks, and I needed to do that. It was either that or call a locksmith. Right. So, I did it. Right. And so, I'm thankful that this isn't my daily transport. I'm thankful that, I can put it on the shelf, and I'm thankful that I have the ability, even though it was a fucking rough night of sleep that night, to be able to step back and say, okay, we need to self-check, have some balance, before other people have to check me when it comes to this. So,
well, I think I would also encourage you, reflect back on that feeling that you had when you had to change the clutch cable in your Saab the first time. Because that's how you got to work.
Yep.
And doing those fixes in a panic.
Yeah.
Is the fucking worst.
It is, right?
And doing things where you're a little more relaxed and okay, this is going to suck if it doesn't work, because I'm going to be out money and time and, bloody knuckles and all the things. But in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter if it doesn't get running again, you're going to be fine.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, I do want to comment on one other thing that you said, which is you were talking about how lucky you were that I was able to come and help you. And I find it very, very funny that we're 2 weeks out from when you basically had to push my car back into your driveway. And then that very car shows up to
be my savior.
You. I probably ran over some of my own axle bolts to get to you.
You did. I'm sure you did.
Right?
We're filling potholes with parts from our cars.
What are we doing with our lives? But that bit of irony it brings me to an FMK Cars.
FMK Cars is the game that we play on the show. It's based on the classic game Fuck, Marry, Kill, but instead of playing it with people like gross people do, We play it with cars. So
to make
Ian's
our
gonna
buddies feel better after their car breaks down.
There you go. There you go. All right, let me pop open the right Chrome tab and get to sharing that. So yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and give me the rundown.
Okay, so this one is called Help! Emergency! Oh, wait, they sent you? I'm good, actually.
Okay.
These are cars for your friend to help.
Okay.
Help ? In. So to be clear, these are cars that I own.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the twists are jams that you repeatedly get into.
Okay, gotcha.
You get into these sort of scrapes, like Larry David-esque scrapes that you're going to get into. And then I'm going to show up in a car to help you.
Okay. I'm into it. Let's do it.
All right, so the first one is my very R32 rescue vehicle, which you see right over here.
Right.
Yeah, behind me, right?
Beautiful machine. I love your little car so much.
Well, in this scenario, you're going to get stuck off-road.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay. Right. I see where you're going here, Captain.
Okay, so you're going to get stuck off-road. You're going to be like, Ian, I need your help. And I'm going to be like, on it. And I'm going to show up and then be like, oh.
You're crab walking, right? Look, this one's lower than yours.
I know. It'll take me 4 hours to get to you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay. The next one is a Morgan three-wheeler.
Okay, all right.
You're going to have some sort of mechanical breakdown.
Okay.
Like your car is going to break. And you're going to have to fix it on the side of the road. Okay. And you're only going to be able to use whatever tools and parts I can transport to you in the Morgan three-wheeler.
In the three-wheeler, okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
All right, the last one is relevant to our discussion last week. It's going to be a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392.
Okay. All right. The aggro boy.
Yeah. You have gotten yourself into an altercation at a hipster coffee shop. And you need your good buddy Ian to swoop in and diplomatically diffuse the situation. Okay. So it calls for a deft, subtle, gentle touch. And of course, I'm going to show up. In this.
Okay. All right. I'm imagining like the scrape that I get into at the hipster coffee shop.
Yeah, they're out of oat milk or whatever bullshit. I don't know. Yeah.
I will tell you the one time I had words at a hipster coffee shop. Okay.
Oh man, this is going to be great. I can't wait.
So I had just done a cyclocross race in the middle of winter. It was like maybe 15, 20 degrees, freezing, right?
How hangry are you at this point?
A million.
Yes. Okay. I knew it was going to be that. Right. It's the only way you would ever get an altercation of any kind.
So it was in Rhino. It was near the Stanley Marketplace. And so I went in the Stanley Marketplace to get a cup of coffee to warm my cockles, right?
Oh, I know exactly the coffee shop you're talking about. Yeah.
And I said, yeah, can I get like just a large black coffee? And they were like, we only have one size and it's small. And I looked at the guy and I go, give me two then.
That's your altercation?
Yeah, that's me being an asshole in a customer service, like to a service worker. That's as bad as
it could be with another customer. With another customer.
Okay, gotcha.
It doesn't have to be with the staff. It can be with another customer.
Gotcha.
So, but still, it's going to be like a, Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you'll have said something problematic or something. I don't know what happens at hipster coffee shops. I wouldn't know.
Okay. With the Morgan three-wheeler, I want to ask some clarifying questions. Okay. Even though we don't often ask clarifying questions.
Yeah, please do, because I definitely didn't just make this up 2 minutes before we started, and I have lots of answers for you. Go ahead.
Let's say you're toting something to me to help me out, right?
Yeah.
And I need something else. Will you make a return trip? Or is this just like, I gotta kind of figure out everything I need, and in one fell swoop you bring it to me?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to give me a list.
Yeah.
Maybe you can send me to an AutoZone.
Right. Okay.
But that's it.
Yeah. It's going to be real fun for you to fit an engine hoist in that thing.
Yeah, I was just have to tow it along.
Yes. Yes, like an Arrested Development with the fucking office chair.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, see,
honestly, you could probably tow an engine hoist with this.
You probably could.
Just a tie strap, tow strap
around the roll bar there. Yeah.
Little casters just going crazy.
It'd be hilarious when you had to stop at a stoplight and the
it just smacks at you.
It goes past you and you're like, oh no.
It starts towing me because it's heavier than the Morgan 3-wheeler.
Flip forward. Yeah, I want you doing a nosy in traffic. Okay, so here's the thing, Ian. The thing that I feel that I have seen and I have genuinely been very impressed by is your ability to mediate a situation and to be the cool head in the room, right? When a person having pretty intense mental difficulties attacked your R32 with a rock, you were cool-headed and you diffused the situation the right way, right? Like you did amazing, right?
Thank you.
But this comes at the cost of a Rubicon 392.
Yes.
Right? So I think we're going to have to kill that one.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
I think so. I don't want you to have to drive that, and I don't want to be picked up and carried away in it.
Okay. So just to be clear, if you marry one of these cars, this is going to happen to you all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the thing it's like the thing that keeps happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For a day.
So
the R32.
One time. Okay.
The R32, I want you overlanding that thing into a field with there may or may not be livestock in the field.
Yeah.
And then I think I would like you to marry, or I'd like to marry with you. This is a weird poly relationship. Us and the Morgan 3-wheeler.
Yes. Our hands will be just intertwined through the roll bars.
Yes.
Like this. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It is my life's dream to go on a Morgan 3-wheeler ride with you.
Oh, yeah. I would love it so much.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least one of us would survive it.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I think I would do. I appreciate that. And I would just like wrenches are going to get stuck underneath your gas pedal. Like all kinds of stuff is going to happen.
Oh, it's going to be a mess. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I think the open top lends itself to like some good Rubbermaid totes.
Yeah.
You know? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think I'm pretty good at logistics.
Yes, you are very good at logistics. Yeah.
I could figure it out.
Uh-huh.
I'll have the first Morgan 3-wheeler with a tow hitch or something. I'm not sure.
Yes. You know those cars that have like trailers that look like half of the car, right? Like a PT Cruiser that has like the PT Cruiser looking trailer. Like like with like another little oval behind you would be pretty hilarious.
Would it be a single wheel?
See, there you go. There you go.
Just like another single wheel behind us.
I like it. Yeah. I like it, man. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Ian. Thank you.
No problem. All right.
Yeah.
I thought you would like that.
Yeah, I do. All right. Well, besides my woes and you rescuing me, again, thank you. Thank you, Peter. And
I mean, I didn't really rescue you. You were sitting comfortably in your house when I got to you.
True.
It's not like you were stranded on the side of the highway with like, a downpour or something like that. I drove to your house and we walked leisurely to your car. It
was an emotional rescue. Okay.
It was.
Right. You did some physical rescuing, some emotional rescuing. Peter did some emotional rescuing. My wife did some emotional rescuing. Yes.
I did. I do think that maybe I wasn't super appreciative of how upset you were about the situation because I did pull up to your driveway and you would cleaned your garage out of like all the fluids and stuff from the car. And it looked, when I pulled up, I started cracking up because it looked like your garage, which, you know, the garage space where your Abarth usually lives, it looked like it was weeping. It looked like it was just tears of the garage, like crying for its fallen, you know, stablemate coming down the driveway. And I texted you, I was like, I know you're upset, but this amount of tears seems ridiculous. And I sent you this picture. And that was maybe not, it was maybe a too soon situation.
No, it was good. It was good. I'm here for it. Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Also, if that's the coolant that was leaving it when you left the house, it's a miracle it made it that far.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's water. That's water.
Like, what is happening here?
Yeah. Also, I learned that driveway detergent, like the actual like driveway cleaner, the concentrated stuff, is I'm such a soft boy. It's enough to give you chemical burns.
Oh, good.
Yeah, look at that. That's fun. That's from detergent that's supposed to clean things.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's how much of a soft boy I am.
So we get the soft IT hands.
I know, right?
Can't get them dirty.
Hey, I do have to say, the only thing that I'm like truly worried about in the long term is, and I think that you tweeted this from the Apex Adjacent account, is that I don't want to be that friend that every time you get an update from me, it's like, boy, this is a fucking roller coaster. Like, what's next?
Right. You don't want it to be like the notification on your phone is like text from Dave, and it's like,
right? Yeah.
See what's happening now. Buckle in.
I don't want a sharp inhale and maybe you sit down.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I did like Jesse's tweet about it, that I've basically summed up 6 years of Abarth ownership in about 12 hours for her. So, oh, fucking hell. That's really funny. Thank you, Jesse. Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Ian. Thank you, PETA. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. And thank you, Jesse, for letting me buy this car from you.
I know you will get this running again, and it'll be a blast, and I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, we've seen things. We have.
Let me stop sharing this one and let me share the other one that's full of the stuff that we've seen and people have seen. Yeah. What do you want to talk about? You want to start with a police officer that Mark sent us that doesn't know how to park? Bad cop, no donut. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, right? Yeah, let's see here. We got a lot of stuff. Our buddy Eric in Illinois sent us a couple things. So this is a sculpture at the rental car counter at an airport that he was in. These are all Hyundai Elantra taillights.
Whoa.
Right? And I assume it's from the rental car company that you probably rent from, because you've probably chucked all of those taillights out when you were handbrake turning Elantras.
I mean, maybe, but also why?
Right. How did you get so many Elantra taillights?
That's so interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah. Right?
I feel like that was probably like a commissioned thing. Yeah. But I want to believe that it was a really bored employee, working overnight at the airport.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like he was like, crazy. Like when people make towel sculptures in the hotel room, or like bubble wrap monsters or something like that, just because like creativity with just shit you have laying around. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to, when I worked at the grocery store when I was like 19, we used to get, the little Amigos, and we would have obstacle courses and race the Amigos against the clock. The store was open, I should clarify. And nobody liked it. But it was fun. It was
nice. Nice. Yeah. Okay. That makes me think of Hammers pointed out a little bit ago that we used to make like fruit juice concentrate. Like we'd take one of those things, like some of the fruit juice concentrate, and put that in Sprite, and that was like our grocery store jungle juice. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!
Just tons of sugar, just all hopped up at the Hy-Vee.
I just love your Buster Bluth tendencies. Mm-hmm. This party's gonna be up the chain.
You guys have unlimited juice at this party?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Eric also saw something else. He saw, this is pretty rare. So this is this a Ford Explorer or is this a Flex? But it is the Funk Master Flex Edition.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, he said it's one of, I think, 650? Whoa. Something like that. It's in our Apex adjacent texts. Yeah, I can pull it up real quick. Yeah.
Funk Master Flex.
Ford. Yeah.
Oh, because it's a Ford Flex. Funk Master Flex.
Flex, right? Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, is it an Expedition?
Oh, Funkmaster Flex Edition Ford Expedition, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Eric also said, right. Holla at your boy, you hurt. Thank you, Eric. That's the widest that's ever been said.
650 were made.
Yeah. Yep.
That's really, really interesting.
I mean, that's that's something on par with your Tubo X. In rarity.
That's very, very strange.
Right? And that's not a bad color scheme for a car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know. It doesn't look like it. It looks like, so these were kind of like they were loaded to begin with because these were the loaded.
Oh, sure. I bet they had a really kicking stereo system.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
It's really interesting.
Right? I saw a truck the other day that was like the Oklahoma edition.
Yeah, those are like, I think those are like dealer, like right. They get like graphics packages and like dealer upgrades that they can do because there's like Texas editions,
right?
Oklahoma edition. Yeah, those are things.
I wanted to ask you, like, if there was like, say there's an Oklahoma edition of a pickup truck, being that you lived in Oklahoma for a while, what would make that the Oklahoma edition? Right? It
would very passive aggressively leak coolant on any Texas edition cars that it saw, and then it would also just every once in a while through the stereo would tell you some sort of like kind of slightly chip on the shoulder fact about Oklahoma, like Brad Pitt was from here, like that sort of thing, like they would remind you.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite story about Oklahoma when we moved there was that Jenny had a boss who there's like a little man-made lake in Oklahoma City called Lake Hefner, not very big, and they were visiting there. They were there for work, and she was standing there and she had never been to the upper Midwest where we're from. And she asked Jenny if that was what Lake Michigan looked like. And it was like, you could see across it. So no. And then the other thing is that like people from Oklahoma like to tell this stat. And I got into it. This is a good story about like how boring being in the military is.
Okay.
So people, when I first moved there, would tell me this stat all the time about how Oklahoma actually has the most shoreline of any state in the contiguous 48. And I was just like, well, no, it doesn't. There's no fucking way that it does. And we would go round and round, and it would be like, they would send me snippets of like the tourism board website and stuff like that. I one time spent, it was like 2 hours plus on hold with like the tourism board getting passed around to different like managers and stuff, trying to find the source of this stat. Okay. Because it was on a bunch of like statewide websites and stuff.
Right.
And I finally got someone on the phone who acknowledged that it was the most man-made shoreline in the lower 48. And I was just like, guys, that's a pretty important qualifier you're leaving out.
Man-made shoreline.
Yeah. And I had it like on speaker, and like everyone, like people in the office was like, It was a pretty good day at the office, actually. Yeah.
I like in the writer's room when they're putting that together, right? They have that all typed out, and include man-made, and like everybody's like, I don't know, and then like the guy covers it, the man-made with his thumb, and everybody's like,
exactly, yeah. But people from Oklahoma are very they're very quick with these like very qualified. We're the best at, but with all these qualifiers, because they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder that they think that other people don't think their state is awesome, when there's plenty of stuff that is great and they should just be happy with it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
I like that. That
was a very long way to go for that.
No, it makes me think of like when people use those kinds of qualifiers to justify how rare their car is, right? Like my Vigan was one of 429, right? Mm-hmm. But that's of blue Vigans, right? Yeah. Exactly, right?
Yeah, we're looking at you, BMW owners.
See, there you go. Yes, it's one of 40 imported into the United States with this exact configuration. Like, okay, whatever, right?
Yeah. Nobody cares.
It's one of one with my butt print.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of expeditions, our buddy Johnny got a new truck. Did you see that? How about this tow rig? Freaking whip, man? Oh my God. Yeah. And like I said,
it's a big car.
If you have an SUV, that's pretty, whatever, right? Fucking throw some wheels on that thing and just zazz it up, man.
Zazz it up.
Yeah. Zazz it up.
Zazz it up. That's what we're calling it?
Yeah. Zazz it.
Yeah. Everybody, my co-host is 135 years old.
We're going to go down to the apothecary and get ourselves a Moxie. I'd like one egg cream, please. Extra cream.
Yeah. I remember that really famous show on MTV with Exhibit called Zazz Your Ride.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm internally, a part of me is in the flapper era. Have you heard of these great things called elevators? Yeah. So
I tell you, my whip is the bee's knees.
So congratulations, Johnny, on the new truck, because I think it looks pretty badass. Yeah.
Zazzy even.
Zazzy. Now that we've kind of gotten some good stuff out of the way, well, I have some other stuff. Okay. All right. Ian, I saw this one in traffic the other day. I just want you to take it in. Okay. It's a Mazda CX-3 or CX-30 or whatever. It's got 3 stickers on the back, okay? An American flag, a Blue Lives Matter, and then an equality sticker.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, kind of a mixed bag, right?
That is a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a real small space, isn't it? Right. I'm also puzzled by the need for the double American flags.
Right. You have the American flag, the Blue Lives Matter flag. All right, go fuck yourself. Then the equality equal sign, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there. Because what the 2 American flags thing is what I'm stuck on.
Okay.
Of what did you forget what country you were in those 3 inches that you moved your eye up?
This is my flag, and this is my flag for the police officers.
Yeah, I guess.
This is my flag that tells people I'm a racist. And then this is the sticker that lets people know that I think it's okay if gay people get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this actually tonight, because I saw a car with the lady silhouettes or whatever.
Oh yeah. Like the trucker mud flap, like silver lady.
It was just like a sticker.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, that tells you no actual information about a person,
right?
But it only gives you subtext, right? I don't, and there's no actual information that they're trying to convey. Right?
Okay, other than they like women.
Right. But It's not any that's not actual information.
But I think that they think it is.
I guess. Which is like an American flag sticker on your car. You're literally like 1,000 miles from any border. It's a pretty safe assumption.
Right.
That you're in America.
Right.
It's not any actual information.
Right.
It's not new information to whoever's around you because they already know that they're in America. Because how the fuck could you forget?
I did think that I had some back bacon and poutine and thought I was in Canada for a second.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've never seen an American. I've never been walking down the street of the town that I live in.
Right.
And seen an American flag and be like, oh fuck, I thought it was in Morocco. Shit. Thank God. I had no idea. It's not information, but you're trying to convey things.
Right.
But I don't know. What is it?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But that's fine.
I don't know. Anyway. Let's look at somebody else's car. I've got some good stuff and some weird stuff. Mark sent us this one on the side of this van, and I love the big Band-Aid bumper sticker on the van, or big Band-Aid sticker. That's great. Mm-hmm. But underneath the driver's side window, it says left.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mark, being the investigative individual that he is, he went to look at the other side of the car. Guess what it says? Left. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I think these 90s conversion vans, I think these are the next things to like spike in value.
Skyrocket in value, right?
These are going to be the next things that we're going to be like seeing at Bring a Trailer and just be like, what are people thinking?
Right. Paying like $64,000 for, to
smell musty carpet.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they all smell. There's a very particular conversion van carpet smell that I know I grew up with for a little while. Like, and it's musty carpet.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of oil.
Yeah. It's worse than church van, right? But not necessarily as bad as like the headliner from a K series Plymouth.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what that smells like too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I saw this in traffic. I think you might like this. This is a positive thing, right? Here's the bumper sticker. I zoomed in for you. It says, "Live your life with the enthusiasm of Bruce Springsteen counting to 4." Yeah, that's great. Normally bumper stickers are dumb, but that one made me laugh. I like that.
Yeah, it's clever.
And then,
I mean, I don't agree with the sentiment, but okay.
No, you don't. You see, you're like,
take it down to that.
1, 2, 3, 4. What's so hard about that? And then my buddy Steven, he sent us this one, and this is a lot to take in, Ian. I want you to take this in. It's a Yin Yang Sticker. And it says, thick THICC, thick dads who vape for Christ.
Oh my God, that's fucking fantastic.
Every word of that is a fucking roller coaster, and it's so great.
I love it. That's amazing.
Right?
Oh, that's really funny. Oh my God.
That takes you on as much of a journey as like text messages from me about the Abarth, right?
This is on a Kia something too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
A brown Kia.
Right.
That's an amazing bumper sticker. A plus work.
Thick dads who vape for Christ. All right. Yeah. Then you've got some stuff for us, Ian.
Yeah, so I saw a sticker at the pumpkin patch during one of my many mandatory fall festivities.
Yes, forced holiday activity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this was up in the suburbs of Denver, up north. And this is again a thing where like I'm sorry. I need to do some like temple rubbing here.
Yeah, it is temple rubbing inducing. Yeah.
Like you think you're saying one thing, but even like on any level, it's bad. Like it doesn't make any sense. So let's show the people. There you go. So this is like don't even know how to describe the graphic, but it's like a woman with like a patriotic hair tie, and sunglasses, and it says "just a regular mom" with a heart for the O, which is fucking unnecessary. Raising lions, not sheep. So I just want to go, like, obviously there's supposed to be a lot of subtext here, whatever. But even just on an analogy level, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Right. Like, because the lions, first of all, are extremely sociable creatures. Right. They have a very strict hierarchy for which they do not deviate. Right. Otherwise they get killed. Right. So even that doesn't even make sense. Right. Also, your offspring is presumably not going to eat the other children at the playground. Right. Are you advertising that your kid is going to be a fucking bully? Like, what are you saying? Right. So either they're going to be in a very strict hierarchy, which was determined from birth with their fellow classmates, or they're going to be eating them. Right. The analogy can't work both ways. It doesn't make any sense. Right. And then I think one of our Twitter followers, I think it may have been Eric, pointed out like that if you kind of look at this from like the Christian perspective, it's just all kinds of wrong, right? Like the Lamb of God, like the whole like Christ analogy, like the gentle, like, right? Like meek inheriting the earth, and there you go. Of that. Thank you. Right. Like what the fuck are you saying, Karen, with this? It doesn't make any sense on any level. Right. And then obviously what it's trying to talk about is, like it's trying to say that, you're not going to follow the crowd and blah, blah, blah. So even like at its best case, it's like a somewhat antisocial in today's world message. It's fucking awful. I have a feeling I hate this shit. Yeah, right. Me too. I have a feeling that this person like heard a little bit of QAnon stuff and doesn't think it's entirely off base. Right. Well, and also I just want to point out they drove their like crossover SUV to the pumpkin patch in the suburbs. Right. It's not like they're blazing a trail themselves. Right. So I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're really going against the pack, right? Right. Yeah. Right. Because when you say something like this, you're saying everybody else is raising what you would call sheep. Yeah. Right? You're trying to say that you're different. Right. Which is why you're advertising this. Right. But if you have to, then you're not. Exactly. Which invalidates the sticker in the whole first place. Right. If there was like if there were conceptual black holes that could collapse upon themselves, this is one of those things, right? Yeah. Like as soon as like somebody like orders this shit off of Etsy, like a fucking crater happens in Lakewood. Like I get a headache is what happens. I get a headache. Right. Of like compounding just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, so that annoyed the shit out of me. Sure. And then, I actually have started traveling for work again. Look at you, travel boy. Yeah. Vaxxed up, masked up on an airplane. Look at you. Yep. Doing the whole thing. And I arrived in Baltimore. Okay. A couple weeks ago, and picked up my rental car, and they had a Mustang GT. Okay, all right. And so, of course, I walked past all of the sensible options and got straight in the Mustang GT. And even I took this picture as I started it for the first time in the lot, and I still took it. Engine oil change engine oil soon. Yes. I also want to point out how many miles are on this car. 34,000. Yeah, 720. Yeah, 712. Rental Mustang GT. Yeah. Imagine the things that this car has seen. Oh boy, that's a lot of strip club glitter. Yeah. I will also point out, so it was, late. This is when was this? Late September, early October when I did this. it was rainy and cold for quite a bit of it. I got fully sideways on the highway at like 65 miles an hour. I'm not joking. With the traction control on.
No, Ian.
The transmission is so fucking terrible in this car. The only other like V8 Mustangs that I've driven really
was the Bullet.
The Bullet, and then I drove like brand new ones.
Okay.
Right, with an automatic. This is the first time I've driven like one that's been beat on a little bit.
Okay, a lot.
And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if all of the transmissions are like this, or it's just because it's a rental car that's been hammered on or whatever, combined with shitty rental car tires or whatever. The shifts are so violent and so like unpredictable. Like they'll just happen. Like sometimes it'll kind of hold revs a little bit. And I wasn't messing around with drive modes really. I was like leaving it normal.
Right.
Even just leaving it normal and then letting it shift on its own because it was rainy and it was like I got in at like 11:30 at night. So I was just trying to go to my hotel room and go to sleep. And it was rainy and greasy out. And I put my foot down to get around someone on the highway doing, again, like 65. And it downshifted with such a violent clunk that it upset the rear end and traction control came on. And I was like full on like opposite lock, like to stay in my lane. It was
Jesus Christ.
Bonkers. It was one of the more sketchy cars I've ever driven. And it was a 2020. Like,
oh, wow. That thing has lived a life already.
Oh my God. It was so like, of course I did a burnout I had fun.
You're not a corpse. Of course you did a burnout.
Right. Well, the problem is that the previous 500 people who rented this also did burnouts in this. And man, it did not. It was not good. Like, it was legitimately a little scary because you didn't know, like, is it going to shift and spit me off? You know, when it rained a couple of days while I was there, and it
great vehicle choice.
It was genuinely a little bit scary. Like,
okay,
it just made me think, like, you know, all of these cars. We talked about this with Doug DeMuro with the Tesla, which is obviously like another dimension from this performance wise, but But this as like a third owner, like someone's going to buy this car.
Yeah,
this car.
Yeah. Yep,
someone's
this exact car. Yeah.
If it doesn't get wrapped around a tree,
right.
First, it'll be bought by somebody,
right.
And that's going to be like genuinely dangerous,
right.
Like a hazard to everybody else on the road.
I
it's
do
pretty fast.
Yeah, I do like that the speedometer says ground speed, like it could be any other speed, but actually. You do need to say that because this is a Mustang. You're going to fucking launch it off a curb at Cars and Coffee, and you are going to need an airspeed indicator as well.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
It was not enjoyable. Like, it really wasn't even fun. Because I was so.
It was something to manage. Like you had to take on an additional task.
Yeah, and it was like, even when I was like, okay, I'm going to have fun with this thing right now.
Right.
It was like, I don't really know what it's going to do. Like, it was unpredictable, which is not, you know, a great thing for a fast car.
Right. When you thought like you'd like let a little steam off and like enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having responsibility, right?
Right.
Yeah, or not responsibility, like a burden, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It honestly, at one point I was like, I'm going to leave pieces of this transmission all over this road. Like, I really thought that there was going to be just a trail of metal and fire behind me.
Okay.
But I returned it, the full tank of gas. And they were like, how was the car? And I was like, it was great.
Right. Don't say it. Say it. It was great.
Yeah. Because they're going to be like, you're the one who broke this, right? Yeah.
Right.
It's been broken for a year at least.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
You didn't break that. Everyone did. Yeah, we broke it. Humanity broke it. Right?
We broke it.
Right?
It turns out this broken transmission was the friends we made along the way.
Nice. Ian, I have a little game for us to go out on. Okay, this is a new game. Okay.
Oh.
All right. I don't quite have a name for it, so let me get this. Let me get this picture queued up. It is a vanity license plate based game. Okay. So Ian, I think what I want is I want to see if you can guess this plate in under 5 questions. Okay, you're allowed to ask like 5 yes or no questions.
Oh, interesting.
No. Let's go 10. Let's go 10. 10 yes or no questions on this plate, right? And I think that like sometimes you see a vanity plate and you're like, okay, like that's way too fucking obvious or, you know, whatever, right? I think that this is a plate. If I was to put this in a license plate game, it would give itself away immediately. Okay. But if you just look at it on its own with no other context or try to place it with other cars, I think it might be a little bit of a challenge to figure out what it is. Right?
Okay.
So let's see here. So let me make sure that this is the right one. Okay. All right. So this is the 10 questions vanity license plate game. Better name, insert here. Okay. All right. Here you go. Ian, here's the car. Okay.
So it's an Infinity something.
Q60S. Right?
Q60S.
Which means coupe, right? Nothing. So it is the coupe with all-wheel drive and I think the 3-point-something turbo engine.
Is it the coupe or the sedan?
This is the coupe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you, I've seen this car twice in my life. I've seen it and the first time I had a picture, I took a picture of it and then I saw the car again like 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you're allowed to ask yes or no questions about the plate. All right. 10. Let's go for it.
Does it reference the make or model of the car?
Yes. Like in a way, yes.
Is it a play on Infinity?
The plate itself is not a play on Infinity. Like, give me an example of like what a play on Infinity would mean. In this case.
It's something that has like infinite or an 8 in it or something like that.
No, it is not. Okay, 8 questions left.
Does it involve Q?
No. There's no like weird conspiracy theory stuff here. Okay, 7 questions. Don't overthink this, right? Think if you had some pleated khakis,
right,
and you're buying an Infinity Q60S.
Really thrilled about your Infinity Q60.
Yeah. Yep. 7 questions left.
It says it's a plate that says 3 screens.
Exactly. The infotainment makes no sense to me.
Help! I can't change the clock. It's what
yes. Okay.
Okay. All right. So. Okay. Does it reference a particular mechanical component of the car, like engine displacement or something like that?
It does not. 6 questions left. But I think you're going down a good rabbit hole here of like kind of trying to figure out what the plate might be in reference to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it something about the appearance of the car?
It is not. 5 questions left.
For fuck's sake.
And then after, if this is all no's, I'll give you hints and you'll be able to get it.
Okay, what about, is it something involving the parent company of the car, like Nissan or Datsun or something like that?
It is not. 4 questions remaining. It's a very blue Infinity. That's not a bad color blue. It's not a bad looking car. It's just fucking ruined by the infotainment. And the plate doesn't reference the color or really anything about the car. The plate does not reference Infinity cars or car culture.
Is the plate a brag of some sort?
It is not. That's a good question. 3 questions left.
So the plate's not a brag. It doesn't really reference the car.
Right. What are some other things that you could reference with a license plate?
Does it reference an occupation?
That's a great question. It does not. 2 questions left. But you're thinking about this in the right way.
Does it reference a hobby?
Not really. No. 1 question remaining.
Does it say coupe?
It does not. It does not. Okay. So let me give you some clues. Let me think of something. Okay, so it is a reference to pop culture. Okay. And I would say within the last 20 years. Right?
Okay.
All right. Something that is has
Is it music? Is it a music thing?
not music. There's other things besides music.
But are there though? Man,
It references some sort of media.
that's helpful. I mean, license plates are media.
It references movies.
Movies.
Okay.
Okay. Does it reference Star Trek?
No, but you're close.
Does it reference Star Wars?
No.
God damn it.
It references a children's movie.
Is this a Harry Potter thing?
No.
No?
It's a Pixar movie.
A Pixar movie. Oh, To Infinity and Beyond?
There you go.
Jesus
there you
Christ.
go.
That was terrible.
It says the vanity plate is and beyond.
Infinity and Beyond.
Right. Yep.
Sure.
Maybe 20 questions is the appropriate number.
I think so. I also think that this is going to be really funny to see like an IKEA Sorrento in a couple of years.
Yeah, like,
you're going to be like, beyond. What the hell is this about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Like the multi-pass plate that I am sure the person used to have a Ford or a Honda Element, and then they got a 4Runner. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, should I find another vanity plate that seems kind of obvious? Maybe would you like to play this again sometime?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And if any listeners have a vanity plate that they think would be a good candidate for this, like license plate 20 questions,
yes.
send it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like it to work with just the car and no other kind of clues.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
Dave, I think we did a car show.
We did. Yeah.
We did a car therapy show a little bit.
Yeah, you were my emotional roll bar. So thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
What should people do if they enjoyed this?
Subscribe on YouTube. Share episodes, with your friends. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter. Talk to us on Twitter. Send us vanity plates by texting them to
720-515-1391.
There you go. Yeah.
This is the part of the show that's most like the stickers that we were talking about, where we're not actually giving anyone any real new information, because everybody who's made it this far into a podcast knows how this works.
Right. But we feel obligated to say it every time, right?
But we do. Yeah. Like, how you doing? It's a podcast lubricant, apparently. Anyway, we love you, everybody. Goodbye.